Nobody too cool. Your big homie Rob, you know what it is. It's Rob Mothman on Twitter. Send all your hate, man. You know how we do it.
This is step one, day one of my leisure hobby project presentation. We are crocheting today, needle, yarn, and my wonderful instructor, my Auntie Debbie. She will be instructing me on how to begin my project. So far, she has got me on the first knot. We're starting to progress our way into this project. We will see where we end up by the time she is gone this evening. We will update you with some pictures and further video along the way. See you soon.
Pot holder.
Pot holder, scarves, whatever we come up with. We're just on a mission.
We ain't supposed to be living anywhere close to these people. How they gonna hate on me? I got more bread.
Historically, if you put it into perspective, if you look back in time, you see quilting, knitting, sewing, and yes, crocheting have all been predominantly, women's activities, even though there's no statistical data proving these ideals. But if you look back and look at history, women are the ones predominantly participating in such activities. You rarely see men participating in such activities because men like to be more active, they like to compete more. Crocheting is more of an activity where women can sit down, they can talk to each other, which a couple of articles that we discussed, like Boys vs. Girls, articles like that discussed in week 7. It provides women a lot of those activities. They like to be more chatty, while men like to be more active and competitive. One of the only issues I found surrounding this activity was carpal tunnel syndrome. I was looking around online and I found a blog from a crocheting site in 1997, and the issue they were discussing was carpal tunnel syndrome in the wrists and in the fingers. So it was actually very funny because sad to say, I actually get carpal tunnel syndrome from playing PlayStation so much. So that was a connection that I found between male and female activities you wouldn't expect. Some theories as to why there may not have been some historical changes in participation. Like I said, men tend to want to be more active, and crocheting, me personally, I'm just more of a laid back kind of person, so this activity actually fit me very well. But at the same time, I would like to be more active. I like to compete and everything like that, and that's just a male thing. Not too many men tend to feel competitive while sitting down crocheting, so I think that's the reason why there hasn't been a change in the participation. So we are starting very beginning. I've got my loop around my needle. Auntie, where do we go from here?
You're going to continue to yarn over and pull through, and that's your chain. And you'll do this until you get to about the size that you want. If we're going to make a pot holder, try 20 of those.
Okay. There's about 2 or 3. All right.
Rolling weed on my double XL. Only difference is that's me on the cover. Once in a while, call my little sister, tell her I love her.
In relations to the class materials, I say this activity fits in the traditional ideals of more being predominantly for women, because if you look back, you see quilting and sewing and knitting have been traditionally and culturally, socially, historically, you see women portrayed as doing this way more often than you see men being portrayed doing it. So I think that those ideals set the basis that it kind of is more of a women's based leisure activity. My experience with it, Uh, I kind of related to like Billy Elliot and Whale Rider are two movies that we viewed in class, and even one of the articles that we read for that same week about the comparison of boys versus girls, who has it harder. I'd say like I caught a lot of like joking and slack from more females than I did from my male friends. Like my female friends couldn't believe that I was actually doing it, and then once I told them I was doing it for a school project, they laughed like, "Oh, no wonder." But my male friends kind of sympathized with me, like, "Oh, damn, that sucks." And one of my friends actually had to do this same exact project, and he actually did the same thing as me. He chose crocheting, so he felt my plight. But overall, I didn't really get too much like major social constraint or anything like that. I hadn't participated in it. I actually had participated in the activity before, but it was for a very short time, for only like a week or so, because I didn't want to get into it. I just didn't have the discipline. Basically, I didn't have the discipline to sit down and with my auntie or anybody else who was willing to teach me how to do it. So I just never got into the hobby. But because of this project, I'm actually glad that I had. It's a very relaxing activity. I picked a good choice, definitely. Oh, it's a beautiful thing. I think that's only like the fourth time she's ever driven my car.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I don't let people touch my car. I need a car wash. I should text her like, "Can you go stop by 76, get my car washed while you're out?" Like,
Yeah, really. I really washed the company car. I haven't washed it in literally months. And it looks so pretty. I'm going, wow. Forgot it looked like this.
California Kush, New York smoking sour D, Detroit bubble Kush, ATL is OG.
alright, so after what? 4 hours? 4 hours, this is what I have. Auntie, what do you have?
Wait, I'm adding rows.
Auntie's adding rows.
And I haven't been working on it only because I've been helping him. We did have to take out some of his rows because they just weren't working. So he's finally got he's finally got a handle on it, so it's looking much better. So I think it'll go a little faster after this.
We hope.
We hope. It's the finishing part that we're gonna have to deal with.
Alright. Try one. We'll see how it goes next time. So 8 hours in, just a little over 8 hours in, and I finally reached to the point where I'd consider it's about the size of our potholders around the house. I still got 4 hours worth of work left to go, so I told my mom that I was gonna use that 4 hours and try and just go as much as I can, see how far into a scarf I could get. And I'm hoping I could, since I got the rhythm down now, I'm hoping I could get a decent amount of the scarf. So I'm making a quick 20-second video. My video is already over the limit, so I'm trying to rush. I just wanted to show, this is about 14 hours plus in. As you can see, guys, crocheting is not that easy. Notice how my lines can't stay straight, but this is how far I've gotten. I'm hoping to keep going even after this project's done. So hopefully everybody else enjoyed their project. Thank you. So this is my reflection piece. This activity challenged me because it was just very tedious learning how to do the different chain links at first. It took me almost 2 hours to get like the right amount of spacing and getting all the chains like properly correct. It took me like about an hour and a half to do that, and then after like 3-4 rows of figuring out that we were doing my links wrong still, it's just very tedious and very frustrating if you can't get the rhythm down at first. But once I was able to get the rhythm down, it was almost second nature after a while. So once you learn how to do it, it's actually very fun and relaxing. Some insight I gained to the opposite gender, as well as mine, Men can enjoy this activity just as much as I think women do. The only women I've really seen participate in this activity has been my auntie. Other than that, I've seen stuff that my great grandmother had crochet before she passed away, but it had been done like years prior. So I've never really seen men or women predominantly participate in this activity. Even in my research, there was no like clear indication that it was one gender like based. So some insight is just like, I feel that it's a great leisure activity for both genders. Very relaxing, very calming. You could talk to anybody while you're doing that. I had some great conversations with my auntie that I haven't had in a while because of certain circumstances. So it was very fun, very enjoyable. I like doing this project. Participating in this activity again, I think I would, but just like I said, just to hang out with my auntie again if we ever have the time to get together. It's just a good activity to sit if you want to sit down and like just relax and talk to somebody. Other than that, just being a male, I'd much rather be sitting in front of a PlayStation 3, playing NBA 2K12. But that's just me. Also, I'm a sports fan, huge sports fan, so I'd much rather be doing like more male-oriented activities. But as far as participating in this activity again, if it came to it, yes, I would participate again. It was a fun activity, and I hope that other males in the class in the future tend to lean towards crocheting. It's a very good choice. All right.